So 4 and 5-year-old teachers, a few things I wanted to make sure everybody got the information on before we launch into using our new classroom, or our classroom. It feels new after 6 months of being closed. But I thought the easiest way to make sure everybody was clear on the instructions for the new protocol we have for COVID, that I'll just walk you through it for a few minutes. So I'd love it if you'd watch all the way through so that you're ready to go. I'm standing right next to the door of the classroom. We have a social distancing sticker on the outside of the door, which watch the parent video, because that's for you guys too, really, to see what we're communicating to families. There's a distancing sticker on the floor, and we'd like for parents to drop their kids off. If a child is having separation anxiety, we would encourage you and the parents to direct the child and the parent to an area in this balcony lobby area to have a little bit of time to be better prepared, but also then to be able to free up that line to keep moving and other kids to come in, rather than keeping somebody who's distraught in the only entrance into the classroom. We want to keep that line flowing as much as possible. And when kids come in, we would love for you to utilize the hand sanitizer that's here. Have everybody get a squirt of hand sanitizer, and you'll have face shields here that you'll already have on before the children arrive. And I have little alcohol swabs. These are just little alcohol prep pads, like if you get an immunization or something like that. And that is the best thing to use on these face shields that we're providing for you. We want to be able to help everybody out with the face shields. We encourage that to be the primary option that we use for personal protection on the face, rather than using a mask in the classroom, because these young kids have a hard time understanding and reading our expressions, our words, our emotions if the bottom half of our face is covered. So we would encourage you to use the face shields that we provided. You can clean them with these after you've used them and then take it home with you. We don't want to store a bunch of used masks or face shields here. Take it home with you and bring it back when you serve again next month. I know that's a little bit of an extra step, but we hope it'll save you money, but also provide you that option. And of course, if you lose it, you can order your own. They're on Amazon. It makes it a lot easier for you to be heard as well, and for you to breathe during class. So these will always be available in the classroom, but as you take the face shield, that's kind of a one-time thing. We'd like for you to just take one. We also have badges for every volunteer in children's ministry. We'll start using these, and we will have these available in the classroom. If you would prefer to keep yours rather than using one that somebody else will use in the future, we have enough that you can take one and maybe keep it with your face shield and bring it back the next time. If not, know that the ones that are here are probably going to end up being used and reused and put back on. So we have enough, though, that if you take yours, it won't be a problem. There are gloves here that you can use during any disinfecting processes, which I'll get to in a moment. But we're not going to be using a lot of the supplies that are up here anymore for the art time for our kids. We have this bin here on the table that has everybody's little art bin, has their name on it. I'll pull out Jackson's here. They're all the same, pretty simple. They have scissors, glue, and crayons. And the scissors, let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. If it becomes a problem whether kids are distracted by having scissors available to them when they're sitting at the tables, then maybe we'll remove the scissors and just have that be something that we do have to disinfect every week. But the plan is that when it's time for the kids to do craft, you'll look for their bin here. And maybe it's a good idea for you to give yourself a squirt of hand sanitizer first, because you're going to be directly passing something on to the children. So hand sanitizer, then distribute these to the kids that are here. When they are done with arts and crafts, have one of the volunteers come over here, and I will have alcohol wipes that are not the face shield ones in a dispenser. They just got delayed from Amazon for like a week. So for now, this is one of the disinfecting sprays we're going to be using often. It is that much bleach at the bottom and then water all the way up. It should not cause any staining of your clothing or the carpet, because it's not enough bleach to do that, but it is enough bleach to kill viruses. So give it a spray and then use a paper towel, or let's use paper towel. to wipe off each one when we're done. We don't have to wipe off the kids' supplies on the inside because it's supposed to only be for them to use, but the outside we do want to clean before we return it to this green tub, okay? So don't return any of those without those being cleaned first. And then I'm going to flip around here and show you our classroom. If you haven't already seen, has little sit spots for circle time for the lesson, and we have sit spots on the table. For the tables, this is pretty good spacing. Of course, we can't do 6 feet and have enough tables to fit in this classroom to have everybody 6 feet away. But at this table, it's a little bit more crowded. And my vision, friends, is that we would have the orange and green spots, which are in the middle, remain empty whenever possible. Our roster is such that we should probably average, I would say maybe 10 kids in here, probably less. And so we have more spots than we need, but I wanted to make allowance for if we would have volunteers, or not volunteers, guests, that they would feel like there was a place for them too. So when possible, maybe even releasing the kids from group time. If you release them one at a time, that might save from a big rush to certain spots and then it being difficult to manage how they deal with that emotionally. But if from your rocking chair there, if you say, oh, I see that Jackson looks ready to go to the table, I'm gonna dismiss Jackson to go find a spot at the table and then go to the next one at a time. And that also will reinforce that we want them to have, show readiness to learn, readiness to participate. And so anytime where we can recognize that in the classroom, it should encourage them to use that kind of behavior in the future. So get everybody at the tables with space, and then you can give them their marker bins. So also with these spots on the floor, as children are entering, after they have had hand sanitizer, we want them to come and find a spot on the floor. So if a lead teacher is equipped to do so, we would love for maybe their helpers to welcome the kids and see how that goes. If there's some separation anxiety, that lead teacher may be a little bit more helpful there. The adult one might be able to help with that extra if needed. But if we have somebody doing welcome songs as kids are coming in, I have noticed that with our younger kids, it can be really helpful. Hi, Bethany teachers of our 4 and 5-year-old class. Jackson and I thought it might help if we tried as often as possible to have each one of us who are teaching follow some similar routines. And one of the things that we thought would be really fun would be to have some of the same welcome songs, so that even though our students are seeing a different teacher each week, I know you're only on about once a month, and so our kids really feel welcomed when there's familiarity, but also when we're singing songs as the kids are coming in or shortly thereafter, it can help to ease some nervousness or separation anxiety and just really make the classroom feel welcoming. So a few of the favorite songs that Jackson and I have for classroom starting off times, welcome times, group time, I think will be really helpful for you. One of them I've tried with the kids before. It's a welcome song and it usually goes really well, and it helps everybody to learn each other's names, including the teacher learns the names of the kids. So we're going to sing those songs for you and hope that you can learn them as well and try using them in the classroom when the kids are first arriving or when you're wanting to start group time. So first one, Jackson, we're going to do is the good morning song, okay? And we like to tap our knees when we sing this song. And I'm gonna greet Jackson first and then myself, and then we have one more part, okay? It goes like this. Good morning, Jackson. Good morning, Jackson. Good morning, Jackson. We're glad you're here today. The next one is good morning, Miss Jen. Jackson's singing mommy, but you know. Good morning, Miss Jen. Good morning, Miss Jen. We're glad you're here today. Good morning, Sunday school time. Good morning, Sunday school time. Good morning, Sunday school time. We're glad it's time for you. All right, the other song that we think is pretty cool to help sometimes we at 4 and 5 need extra reminders about what we're supposed to be doing at group time to be ready to listen. And so some of those songs can be really helpful for that. And one song that we want to suggest is this one, okay? Ready, Jackson? Eyes are watching, ears are listening, voices quiet, voices quiet. Oh, Jackson, you knew that one better than I did. Bodies are calm, bodies calm. This is how we listen, this is how we listen at group time, at group time. Let's do that one more time, okay? All right. Eyes are watching. Jackson knows this better than me. Eyes are watching, ears are listening, voices quiet, bodies calm. This is how we listen, this is how we listen at group time, at group time. And there's a couple other things I wanted to mention while we're on the subject. First of all, you notice I messed up a few times, and it's totally okay. And the kids are really forgiving at this age, so pressure is off, teachers, to just do your best and laugh and keep on rolling. The other thing is that, in case you haven't observed this before in a classroom, but one of the great classroom management tips that I have, especially for this age, we've got, I don't know if you can see it, this classroom is set up a little differently than the last time you've taught in here. And we've got sit spots on the carpet. So we want the kids to be a little bit spread out from each other. They're a lot cleaner than those old carpet squares, which also kind of wiggle around the room. And these will stay in place all the time. But let's say we've got 5 kids in here and there's a lot of squirming going on. I'm ready to share my story from our Jesus Storybook Bible. And, I noticed Jackson looks like he's ready to listen. I love how Jackson is sitting so quietly. And you know what? The other kids in the room that were getting really squirrely and wiggly, I bet you that most of them, if not all, are probably going to sit up straighter. And they're probably going to do those things we just sang about in that song. Voices will probably get quieter. Eyes will probably be on the teacher. And then when you notice it, say, oh, Jacqueline, I love how you got your body still and quiet and ready to listen. Great job. And really calling out the things that you see the kids doing that are showing that they are doing what you're looking for. And then the negative behaviors that might be happening in the room are going to diminish without necessarily having attention put on them, which is really encouraging for the classroom. It's a positive way to get everybody participating with you without singling somebody out for a negative behavior, which has to happen sometimes. But we want to do as much positive as we can to try and direct the classroom. So those are a couple of ideas. I'm expecting that our kids that have been away for quite a while with the coronavirus time, they haven't been in the classroom for 6 months. And so there's going to be some readjusting in a lot of different ways. And so grace to you. I'll be praying for you, and others are praying for you and for these kids. And we're just going to take it one Sunday at a time and work on being patient and reminding everybody of what the expectations are and praising good behavior as we see it, and trusting that the Lord is going to bring his peace and his truth into this classroom. We're here for our toys. I have gone through our toys and I have packed away the dolls, unfortunately, and a lot of the wooden things. That we do still have wood blocks, but we don't have out the puzzles anymore. A lot of the things that would have been more difficult to disinfect from week to week, we are just going to save it until a future season when COVID is not as much of a concern. We also put away the books for story time, of course, you're going to do the Bible story, but we don't have books available for the kids to access. So I'm going to show you, I've got the books here near the front door in this cabinet. The books are down here on the bottom shelf. If one of the teachers, after all the rest of the routine is done, if children would like a story and you would like to provide that opportunity, I'll encourage you to come here and pick out a book. And that way it's not getting passed around a lot, and you can read the book to the kids that way and then return it when you're done. We don't want to leave books out here. For the toys, what we're going to do is we're going to be disinfecting them every week. Now, that's not going to be on you to do all of that, but we do want your help because we're going to have a team that'll come here after Sunday in the middle of the week and be disinfecting everything, and we do have a good system for that. But it'll help us out a lot. If there happen to be toys that the kids don't touch at all on a Sunday, hey, let's save the effort and not have to wash all of those. So here's what you can do to really help make that work out. I'm thinking that, say all these vehicles got used. Afterwards, we put them all back in their bin and we put them here on the tables. And then when the cleanup crew arrives, they'll recognize that everything that's on the tables will need to be disinfected. Everything that's left on the shelves here still would not be needing to be disinfected. For the really big stuff, like this, just leave it where it is and we'll have our team clean it up. But any of the small stuff in the bins, like we have the Playhouse stuff and the food and dishes. Sorry, I keep doing that to you guys. I'm my own cameraman, so I can't flip back and forth without cutting everything off. So yeah, all the little stuff, if it's been used, please put it on the tables. The big stuff, leave it where it is and we'll have our team disinfect that. But anything that normally is kept over here on these shelves, even some of this bigger stuff, instruments, whatever, if it gets used, let's do that system. And then when you come back on a Sunday morning, our team will have put it all back where it belongs after they've disinfected it, okay? And I'm sitting here on the rocking chair where the lead teacher I would envision sitting during group time. And I have on this table, and I would love for it to stay this way, that we have our bigger Jesus Storybook Bible here for you to use and to read to the children. There's also a whiteboard and whiteboard markers here. And we have whiteboard marker, like whiteboard spray in the cabinet where all of your other stuff is, where those face shields are, where the name tags are, where the kids' art supplies are in that upper cabinet. There is a spray if this whiteboard gets messy. But if there's any time that you would want to illustrate a point, of course our kids can't read, so writing words isn't necessarily super helpful, but symbols that you can draw or anything like that, we would love for you to be able to use that. We're not planning on that being something that the kids are using all the time, but we probably would run out of dry erase markers pretty quick. So let's just keep that for, this is the teacher's supply table. If anything becomes too tempting, we can always relocate it during class, during free play time, and then put it back when we're done. So the other thought that I have about these circles is that during playtime, I am not planning on the kids having to social distance from each other and stay super far away from each other because we have done everything we can to ensure that everybody that's coming has passed a health screening and that we're cleaning everything. And we don't want the kids to be paranoid about not touching each other or playing together. But we do want to encourage, that they have a variety of activities that they can do more parallel play where they're not necessarily sharing the same stuff all the time. So I'll kind of leave that up to you guys. I don't want us to create an atmosphere of fear where the kids are feeling that they can't interact normally with each other. But rather than a big group of children playing with the same thing all at once and definitely passing things back and forth to each other and wiping their nose or sucking on their fingers or drooling or whatever it might be, the transmission rate goes way up for any kind of illness that they might have. So it might be helpful to encourage that. One thing that has come up as an idea for trying to bring that reminder could be like a code word, or we can also bring, from my office, I have a cowbell that we use at VBS, and I can bring that and put that in the cupboard. If you would like to have that be something that you use as a lead teacher to remind people of transitions, or hey, we need to encourage everybody to find your own circle to play with your toys if it seems like it's out of control that day. Or to use the bell to say, okay, it's cleanup time. Or the other piece that is important to note is that we will not be having snack in the classroom during this season. We might bring it back in the future once we're not very concerned about COVID transmission or other illness transmission. But for now, there won't be any snack. All right. Here in this organizer on the countertop is our policies and classroom information binder. And all of our old information, which is still fairly current, is here. But in the flap of it is our COVID preparedness plan, which I'm going to email you a link where you can read that at home on your own device. But if you ever need to refer to what our specific protocol is during this season with COVID-19 concerns, everything is written out here that's very specific to our ministry. So I've taken guidelines from the CDC and MDH, and I have applied them really specifically to what our plan is. And it would be good if everybody was aware of what those plans are. So read the link that you receive from me in the future, but also you can refer to it here, or if any parents ask about it, there's that. So inside this cabinet, if we haven't necessarily left any face shields, fresh face shields out, you will find more in here and a little bit of information about the face shields. The alcohol swabs here for cleaning them. And we'll have some clean rags in here to use with the cleaning products, especially if you're going to, for any reason, clean any of the toy equipment. If you have time and want to clean some before you leave that day and return it to that shelf, you could use rags for that. That would probably work better than having a paper towel for that. All right. We do have in our bathroom new cabinets, and we're going to have hooks here. We're going to use net bags for hanging toys in midweek, and we've got supplies still up here if you need to find certain supplies: toilet paper, wipes, Kleenexes, paper towels, more sanitizer and disinfectants. Those are available here. One area that hopefully when you come to the classroom it will be fixed, but we decided to redo the paper towel and soap dispensers, and they are not in place just yet. We're wanting to create, we had one here that was really dangerous for little ones to bump their heads on. So we are hoping, oh, here I am. We're hoping to have one further back so that the kids can reach there, the paper towels and a soap dispenser. For now, we're gonna use these. This might be harder for some of our younger kids to use. So when you're helping with toileting, if you want to check in on them when they're done and see if they needed help with washing their hands in any of those steps, they might need it for the next few weeks until we're able to get everything up in place on this wall. That is the plan for safety in the classroom. And I thank you guys so much for braving this new era of COVID with us and coming back in and helping our kids return to our new normal. Bless you guys.